Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, capital markets analyst and host of your Cannabis Business podcast.
Back with us is Rohit Srivastava. He's the Chief Investment Officer and Portfolio Manager with C3 Fund. To give us an update, Rohit, thanks for being back on the podcast.
Thanks, Josh, for having me again. Sitting here in California, it's extremely super hot and there's lots of fires happening around here. So just the regular disclaimer, this is all for entertainment, this is all for learning. There is no advice giving here. We're not giving any financial advice. Do your own analysis before you invest. We do our own analysis, we invest, but we don't suggest those trades for you guys. So we've been talking about the cannabis index, which is similar to VIX, which tells us where the market is overall going, and analyze 18 stocks. This was like about a year ago when we incubated this, and this is from then. This was where last week we were, where it was hovering over the 535 support, and it is still hovering over that 535 support. So it is holding up. One interesting thing from a money flow perspective is that there has been a cash out. So that might be a little bit of risk in the market about closing the trades. So overall, it still looks solid, but there is a risk right now, I would say, from the cash flow perspective. And this is where we started doing the incubation. And this was where we were last week, where we were seeing that the cash flow was positive, money was pumping in. But this week, again, the money has been going out. So the overall price remaining the same, but the cash going down is a little bit alarming in the sense that that people might be pulling out cash from that. But we'll see in the next 1 week. The other indicator which we use, the AI uses, is the overall market risk, and the overall market risk is mostly that even though the index, cannabis index or any index might be strong, but if the whole market is going down, it doesn't really matter. People are selling; they're selling everything. So at this point, there is a market risk, and it might turn around and turn positive again. But at this point, it's at risk. And considering like S&P 500 is at all-time high again. Nasdaq is at all-time high, and it sounds risky to me in general, also from a fundamental point of view. But from the AI point of view, it is finding that it is basically at a risk. So from the fund perspective, we're not holding anything. So all the holding, we actually were holding six stocks last week, and last time when we talked about this, and we sold a majority of them as of yesterday. So yesterday we sold a bunch of them, sold a couple of them today too. But as of yesterday, when the trigger happened, we sold majority of them. And we have an overall gain of 66% year to date and 93% from the period. Now, and this is a comparison, like the other funds, if we take from 731 to today, they have been -4%, but we are a little bit ahead with a percentage. Now, one of the things which I want the viewers to know is that up until like we registered this fund as an SEC into SEC, we were incubating. We were doing these virtual trades, trying to figure out what is really the gain out of all of that. And after we did that, we are actually having investors invest into this, and we are using this AI to invest for our investors. So this is the overall idea that last year during the same time we incubated this, and since then we have about 89%. And somewhere in the middle of July, we actually started. We had the investor and a big investor, and his funds have been investing, and we have about 3% gain so far. And this is in the three industries which the C3 fund represents overall. And going forward, we will be telling about only the gains which basically the Go Live has been doing. There's no the incubation period was to experiment and test that how our AI is doing. Would it fit for this special index is a specialized index, which is the cannabis index. So overall, it is holding the support. It looks positive, but there is a risk right now about that some cash is coming out. So it's holding the support, but we are out of the market. We're not holding anything at this point. And overall, the gain we have is about 3.06% from the go live, which is the 7/13th. From 7/13th, we had about 3% gain in this index. That's all I have for you, Josh, today.
So the 1 year mark means the end of the incubation period. So obviously did really well during that period, and kind of showed a few times when we sold out of all equities that we were at least 3 days, if not 10 days ahead of the regular market. So if that's not hysteresis, I don't know what is. So that's bound to catch up. If we're selling out now, I would expect that the market is going to fall out in about a week, if not 10 days. We'll see, I don't know, 10-15% correction. Just gonna have to come back to the Talking Hedge and find out.
Yeah, and also one other thing in that is that, and it might not go down too. Like it's identifying as a risk. It might not go down too, but it is a potential risk. And any smart investor, as soon as he sees risk, like if you're a driver and if you see a risk, you just slow down automatically. It's just the same procedure that if the system is telling there's a risk, we don't need to get our emotions involved into that and just follow the protocol and slow down. That's the idea.
We're seeing a lot of new a lot of new people playing in the stock market right now. Thinkorswim is crashing with TD Ameritrade. There's a lot of brokerage firms out there, and even Robinhood that's crashing constantly. So a lot of people out there, but historically, at least for the last year, as we were testing this, what I've noticed is that we've been ahead of the game. But again, we'll just have to kind of check back and see if that holds true.
That is true.
All right. Well, I want to thank my guest, Rohit Srivastava. He's the Chief Investment Officer and Portfolio Manager with C3 Fund. Thanks for being back on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out.
Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.